Hi everybody, I'm Tiffany. I am doing a speech from Akio Toyota regarding the 2010 Lexus recall. It was aired on February 23rd of 2010 and was transcribed by Brian Montepoli, a reporter of the CBS News. The speech in its entirety is called Akio Toyota's Congressional Testimony. I am deeply sorry. In this presentation, I will talk about the theory, the context, the application, and the implications of the speech. Starting with the theory, I chose to discuss Robert Albinson's four major strategies of apologia in relation to self-defense. They are denial, bolstering, differentiation, and transcendence. I also decided to incorporate elements of William Benoit's five major strategies of apology. Starting with denial. Denial is the process of denying one or many allegations, facts, or relationships because it allows the speaker to distort reality or avoid conflict with beliefs held by their audience. The second factor, according to Abelson, is bolstering. However, in between bolstering, Benoit adds there is an additional strategy called evasion of responsibility, meaning the accused were either provoked, they had a lack of information to blame for their act, which, in regard to this speech, I typically use the suggesting the accused perform the act with good intentions. The third form, according to Abelson, is differentiation. The fourth and final from Abelson is transcendence. And on the other hand, Benoit's final strategies are corrective actions and mortification. Corrective actions means the apologist tries to repair damages caused by their actions and will take steps to prevent the event from happening again. Whereas mortification is Benoit explains the speaker admits their wrongful behavior and asks for forgiveness and eventually apologizes. As far as the context of the speech, I decided to follow Plato's Apologies example, such as identifying the accusers, identifying the charges, and identifying the audience. In general terms for the context, Akio Toyota gave the speech via CBS News. It was worldwide because it went viral because of the Lexus, because Toyota is a brand name company throughout the entire world. It was stated, in the past few months, our customers have started to feel uncertain about the safety of Toyota's vehicles. This is why Toyota decided to make this speech, and because his customers were actually getting very concerned and wanting to return their vehicle to make sure theirs was not recalled either. The targeted audience for the speech was Congress, because the issue was a foreign affairs matter, because it crossed national boundaries, because Toyota is a worldwide automobile company. The accusers in the case is the Saylor / the Lesteria family, who had members die while driving the Toyota Lexus. When what happened was the accelerator sped up out of control and their car ended up going off of a bridge. The grandmother of the family said, I know I didn't come here to cry on someone's shoulder. It is for the safety of the world. We don't want another person, another family, to suffer like we are suffering. Also, the cousin of the family quoted to Maggie Rodriguez of the Early Show, it is absolutely devastating to lose your family members in those circumstances. It is heartbreaking, especially when you know it could have been prevented. As far as the charges, Toyota and Akio Toyota, the CEO, was charged with defrauding consumers by issuing misleading statements pertaining to the safety of the Lexus, as well as one count of wire fraud. It was quoted by attorney Preet Bahera from the Southern District of New York. Toyota stands charged with a criminal defense because it cared more about savings than safety and more about its own brand and, bottom line, the truth. I'll now move on to the application. The application is I used bolstering, denial, evasion of responsibility, corrective action, and mortification, which are components of Abelson's and Benoit's strategies of apology. Starting with bolstering, In the first sentence of Akio's speech, he states, "I would first like to state that I love cars as much as anyone, and I love Toyota as much as anyone. I take the utmost pleasure in offering vehicles that our customers love, and know that Toyota's 200,000 team members, dealers, and suppliers across America feel the same way." He also went on to say, "I have personally placed the highest priority of improving quality over quantity, and I have shared that direction with our stakeholders. As you well know, I am the grandson of the founder of all Toyota vehicles, under my leadership, I would like to reaffirm our values of placing safety and quality the highest on our list of priorities, which we have held to firmly from the time we were founded. I will also strive to devise a system in which we can surely execute what we value." And then moving on to denial, Akio states he takes full responsibility for what happened and goes on to blame the company's problems on its decision to pursue growth too aggressively. So in this case, Akio is blaming the company and not himself and his subordinates for making the decision. He's blaming the company's mission and its goals. The other factor was evasion of responsibility. This means the act was performed with good intention but had a negative outcome. Akio stated, "We pursued growth over the speed at which we were able to develop our people and our organization, and we would be mindful of that. I regret that this has resulted in the safety issue described in the recalls we face today. I am deeply sorry for the accidents that Toyota drivers have experienced." As far as the strategy of corrective action, this means the speaker described how they take steps to repair the damage, and Akio stated, "I will do everything in my power to ensure that a tragedy never happens again like this." Then he actually went on to stating his solutions, which are including placing quantity over quality, plans to better manage quality control, and plans to add a step in the recall process which involves management making a decision from the idea of customer safety first. In this sense, Akio went on to state, "More importantly, I will ensure that members of the management team actually drive the cars and they check for themselves where the problem lies and will add up severity. I myself am a trained driver and a professional. I am able to check on problems in a car and can understand how severe the safety concern is in a car. I drove the vehicles in the accelerator pedal recall as well as the Prius. Comparing the vehicles before and after the remedy in various environmental settings, I believe that only by examining the problems on site can one make this again from the customer perspective. One cannot rely on report or data in a meeting room." Lastly, I examine Benoit's strategy of mortification, which is ultimately admitting you're wrong and apologizing. Akio stated, "I am deeply sorry for any accidents that Toyota drivers have experienced. Especially, I would like to extend my condolences to members of the Saylor family for the accidents in San Diego. I would like to send my prayers again, and I will do everything in my power to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again." As far as the implications, it is important to understand what one might not know about the speech before they read it. What I came across is what people might not know is Toyota tried to save face of the company. It was very important for Akio to come out and talk to the world because his customers were getting concerned about their vehicles, as well as another thing people might not know is Akio blamed what happened on the company's goals and missions and not on decisions that him and his subordinates made. So after analyzing Akio's speech, it is apparent to me that this speech is an apology because It exquisitely demonstrates Benoit's strategies he defines necessary to be an apology, as well as Abelson's strategies. To be considered an apology, a speech does not have to incorporate all of the aspects. It has to incorporate at least some of them. So overall, what can be taken away is that the speech is considered an apology, and that I chose to analyze Abelson's and Benoit's strategies to apology, as well as what can be taken away from my analysis is that in the end, in a speech to be considered an apology does not need to have all of the strategies. It needs some of them. So overall, after my in-depth evaluation, I conclude that Aikio's speech is an apology. Thank you for listening.